lot of my time was being consumed with that, and then come in late into the evening and not have that relationship with her, with the kids as much. Now that I'm just doing this, now maybe my mind is occupied with business stuff, but I feel like I could spend more time with the kids and with my wife. So it's definitely positives in that respect, and way more receptive, where she'll be like, you know what happened with my grade 6 students, and I'll be like, oh no, tell me.
Yeah,
I am honestly kind of curious.
Yeah. Well, and you're on an island, you're by yourself in the shop all the time, so like
I am, but there's still like I have my community.
Yeah, of course.
There's a bunch of guys on Instagram that I've met and chatted with, and we'll send each other messages. And
that's good. So you're not like, you talked about your community and your group, your association.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Guild.
The guild. Sorry, it's a guild.
Welcome everybody back to another episode of the Quiet Riot Show. It's going to be a good one today. I'm excited about it because it's our new sponsor that's joining us today.
We have a sponsor?
We have a new sponsor.
Sponsor?
Yeah.
Hey, awesome.
Yeah, we have a new sponsor. And replacing another one, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
that's part of it.
Yeah, that happens. And I've known this guy for a while, and I'm looking forward to this episode.
Me too, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know much about him, but I know what he does for a living, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
And nobody who does that for a living is probably boring or anything like that. They probably have a bit of a story.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to find out. Yeah.
For sure. It's cold today.
Ugh.
It's been.
Yeah.
I spent my whole day today in a hoodie and a freezer jacket. Like, even at work, like, I didn't take it off because
it's awful.
It's cold inside. Like,
I don't like
just
it.
nasty.
If you're listening to this from somewhere warmer, fuck you.
Or be happier there.
or there's that, I guess, too. Sorry.
You know, I play sponge hockey, and that's our season's.
Has that started already?
So our sport, or like the competitive one, starts next Saturday. So on the 21st. So it'll be just before this episode comes out. But we play sponge hockey on the river as well. On Seine River,
there,
and that's already. Yesterday was the second time that the guys got together. I didn't go. It's just like I had too much work to do, so I'm planning on going next week. But yeah, it's been cold, so once you get the fire going and start moving, it's okay. It's just that initial of stepping out into the cold and getting out there.
No thanks.
But we'll have to have you come out though on a nicer night. It's fucking good times because you're standing around the fire, having some drinks, and
I'm into those things if it's warmer.
Yeah. And we do have warmer nights too. So
yeah, but having drinks, that's going to be February. It's going to be freezing.
Yeah, not always. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, we usually do bring a cooler just to keep our drinks warm, because otherwise beers freeze.
Fair.
Yeah. Yep. So, anyways, let's bring in our guest.
Sure.
Okay. All right. I'd like to introduce our guest for today, and it's Justin Lamoureux. It's one of our sponsors from Rainy Day Forge.
What's up, guys?
How's it going? Welcome to the studio.
Happy to be here. It's quite awesome.
You can tell he's been on mics before.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can hear it. You can feel it.
We can probably dive into that a little bit later because he's been behind a mic, in front of a camera. His social media is fantastic, like what you're doing for your business. It's funny, it's entertaining, it's informative too. Like your YouTube videos are awesome, and like you got into this new business or this job or hobby, what you love doing, and I think you've probably learned all these extra skills along the way to do that. So we can dig into that. Have you listened to our show?
I have.
Okay, so you know about our check-in, and we like
do.
to do the check-in first, and then we'll just see where the conversation goes. So since last time, I am I would say about a 7. It's
Okay,
been
that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's been very, very challenging week, but somehow I'm managing everything. Like, I'm getting shit done. You know, part of me thought when November ended that, okay, things are going to calm down. And
Nothing ever calms down.
no, it just doesn't
Ever.
end. It's like, oh no, now this happens and that happens, and Christmas concert and then Christmas get-togethers, and yeah, it's just busy. But like, I'm managing it, like, mentally. I'm managing it physically too. Like, I've been catching up on podcasts, you know, that I haven't listened for half a year or more. So yeah, just overall, I feel in a good place. So I'm
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I'm happy that's before Christmas.
What is a 10 though? Like,
I don't know.
I've been listening
Yeah.
to the pod.
We don't know. We've
and I'm
never
like,
Never
okay, they
found
keep
one.
saying like, I'm a 6, I'm a 5, and I'm like, what are the references? Like,
Yeah.
what's a 10?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think 10.
I've never been a 10.
Like, on a regular work week, like, can you hit a 10, or is it
Yeah.
just like
Well,
holidays?
everyone's got their own.
I think a 10 would be me being on vacation, fishing, sipping on whiskey or something, and not having issues. That would be a 10 for
we
me.
could bump you up till an 8 right now.
Yeah. Oh, that would be I would have a glass of whiskey. That would be a hard 10. There's your answer.
Yeah, you want to see me at a 10 for the first time ever? Fucking
Pop a bottle.
Give me 5 minutes.
How about yourself?
Oh, like a 4?
Okay.
Yeah. I fucking hate everything right now.
No.
Yeah, it's been...
All of it, just
It's
all
been
of the
challenging.
whole everything. It all sucks.
So you did say something before the show that you're quitting. You're quitting the not drinking.
I fucking want to so bad.
Yeah.
I don't think I can at this point.
I mean, I think you're so far already that
What are we?
like we're
I don't know
almost
what day it is.
2 months in.
Well, no.
Almost.
Like a month and
Month and a half. So
a month and a half.
You know,
almost.
halfway there. We're halfway there.
It's awful. And I'm not going to spend the whole show bitching about it, but
Yeah.
you asked, so it's fucking awful.
It might happen part of the show, I'm guessing.
It sucks shit, and I'm giving up darts, so that's a whole
Oh,
other
yeah.
thing.
Like, are you completely off now, just vaping, or?
I think I've had like 1 today.
Okay.
That's 1. Yeah, I've had 1 today.
Okay, that's a big jump for you because
It's too cold outside. Really, why I'm doing it is
Yeah.
because it's just cold outside.
yeah.
I don't.
That's
I
good
don't fucking-
motivation.
Yeah.
Like, and you
I
know
do,
it's going to be
like,
better for you down the line.
I don't feel like I don't cough as much in the mornings and stuff.
That was
like,
my biggest
all the bad
notice.
shit in it is
Yeah.
like staying inside, which is good.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's any better, but I think it's my next stage to like, because I'm trying to quit all of it before spring. Because once
Okay.
spring hits, forget it.
Right.
Like once I'm golfing, forget it.
You're going to want to keep going. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
going to happen. So this is, I don't know. I'm doing this now. I don't fucking know why. I hate myself. That's
It's going to
why.
be hard for you to
doing like strict diet,
well,
no darts,
but
and no booze.
But once you get
You
back
wonder
to the
why I'm
booze,
a 4? I should be a 2.
yeah. But once you go back to the booze,
5 minutes.
and it's going to be hard for you to not smoke.
No, I think it'll be fine. I fucking hate winter.
Yeah.
It's cold. I don't
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
It's deadly out
And
there.
I'm getting more
Really?
angry about it
Yeah,
year
like-
after year. And so I'm just like, we had that one day that was really windy and cold. And I was like, I'm getting a fucking
Nope.
vape.
I
I'm not
quit,
doing this
yeah.
bullshit anymore. Like, fuck this.
Yeah. How are you doing, Justin?
Pretty good. I've had a bunch of ups and downs since Cedar and Steel. Thanks, guys, for sponsoring that event. And I was expecting it though, because like I've been doing just crazy projects over the last 10 years, all my life really. Anyway, I throw myself into things, and I recognized that, okay, I'm gonna do this like high energy, like time consuming, all output that I can do for this event, and usually after I do that kind of thing, I'll hit like not depression, but like wondering, why do I feel this way?
Yeah.
And then I was starting to feel that, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna take a couple days off, and like I've worked hard, I can take a break.
Yeah.
I deserve it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I knew it was coming, so I was expecting it. And then COVID hit, and then oh my god,
Yeah.
I was sick for a week. I couldn't do anything, and then the first day back in the shop was like, it was a drag. I was like probably a 3 or something that day, where it was like, what the heck am I doing? Like,
That's tough.
dude. Yeah. But like, I feel like I've swung up and down with kind of just dealing with just being an entrepreneur, and I was a teacher for 13 years, and that is a stressful job. And like I've gone on walks and laid down in the bush and just like sat in a sunny spot and went, oh, this is good. Maybe I'll just stay here forever. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I should stop teaching. But yeah, so today I'm probably at let's say a 7 or an 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like I bounced
Look
back.
at
pretty
you
good.
happy motherfuckers over here, eh?
There was a point today where I was like a 5, but right now I'm an 8.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here. So
Well, and
We're happy to have you here. Thank you for
yeah,
being here.
thanks for joining. It's one of those things, like I can fluctuate a lot faster than, let's say, Tim.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Like you will.
I don't move quickly.
No, you
so,
don't. Yeah.
Like 4 will like. I likely won't. It'll take me days to like something will have to
Get the
change
funk
over
out.
days to shift that.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But it's the same as if I'm like a 7, which is kind of my
Base.
my good normal.
yeah.
That will last for a while. Like that'll like something has to happen to change that, and
Yeah.
it can't change very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty like slow move on that. My roller coaster doesn't go. There's not a lot of up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
It's
cool.
good and bad.
Yeah.
Because when it sucks for a while, and when it's good, it's great for a
Yeah.
while. And like, I'm not like my wife, who could be a 1 and a 10 at the same time.
Okay.
That happens.
But
to
there's benefits to that too. You can shift out of it fast.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to.
For sure.
I get stuck in it, and I can't like. I haven't yet figured out how to shift that, and so I'm in some senses envious of people who can do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you talked about entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk
You
about
wanna-
your business.
What
a
do you
little
do?
bit.
Let's get that out of the way quick, and then we'll start talking about how that happened.
Sure. Yeah.
We don't need to be quick. I feel rushed now because Tommy.
blacksmith, bladesmith. I ran the Manitoba Blacksmith Guild as well, so I'm president of that association.
Nice.
Is that like a Freemasons type organization?
No, it's
joking.
pretty much guys that like fire and steel.
Yeah,
and
that's pretty sweet.
beer.
Nice.
Yeah. Beer has to be in there. Yeah.
It
How do I
happens.
join this?
Yeah. Oh, totally. It's
I just want the beer part, right?
Yeah.
generally we do an event in June, another one in August, and another in end of September.
Okay.
So we organize events. We're trying to do more in the winter, but it's tough. Like, who has a large enough shop that wants a bunch of, I don't know, sweaty dudes in their shop?
What are you guys doing
with
there?
fire and like
Yeah.
it's just not as convenient. We could do smaller like events in the wintertime, and it's been on our radar to do, but it's we're fairly new as an association. We're only like 4 or 5 years old, so
Okay.
yeah.
And is that like the purpose of that just a community thing? Is it about building community amongst yourselves or each other, or?
It's about community, but our mandate's more about education
Okay.
and the arts.
Okay.
So promotion of blacksmithing as an art form.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll an event basically is composed of a morning session where there's a demonstrator showing everyone how to do a different project.
Yeah.
And the rest of the day is pretty much people trying to recreate that project.
Oh, okay.
And our executive kind of walks around and helps everybody out that's a little bit younger, a bit newer to the craft, and we hope no one gets burnt. Really, like, it happens.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, it's got to be part of it.
It's part of the trait. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So how did you end up doing that?
Well, for myself, it was Forged in Fire. Saw it on TV. That kind of like opened my eyes at
that show was awesome.
Yeah.
I only watched like few episodes. Yeah,
I like binged on it for a little bit.
Yeah,
because you get into it
wherever there's like
it's entertaining, and there's
you got a
fire,
time
and there's time constraints. And it is art.
Well, and what I like about these skills, like that these are skills that have been around for years.
Oh yeah,
and some
thousands
of it,
and thousands.
And then there's some of it that has the automation came out, right? The new modern technology, and it kind of took away from that, right? Because like, I mean, you can get these knives mass produced, in a factory, but they're really like, there are some good knives that are mass produced, but most of them are, let's be honest, they're shit.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to sharpen them and it'll last you like, through 5 tomatoes, and then you got to sharpen it again. It's like, fuck, it's just a tomato.
For a while, my Instagram algorithm had fucking knife ads in it, like crazy. They're like, oh, Japanese Santoku knife, and I was like, I want one of those so bad, and I'm like, it's only like $60. I'm like, that's not a knife for me. Like, that should not be $60 if it's worth anything. That's not going to cut shit.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just nice to see that like this old profession is coming back to more of a art almost.
Yeah,
a craft.
It's always been art
component.
It always been, but before they built it because it was out of necessity, right?
Yeah.
You needed for wars, right? Like back in the days where there was no guns. What did they use? They used
right?
Yeah. I mean, they used knives and swords and axes, and those were all handmade. By a blacksmith.
I think a lot of it comes from, and I've heard someone say it, so I'm just repeating what someone else is saying, but from Food Network, as soon as like celebrity chefs started to appear, and then it was like, holy, that guy is not using my piece of crap Walmart knife that I've got. What does he have?
What is that? What kind of knife is that? Like, I learned so much about what kind of knives from watching Food Network.
Right.
That's what got me interested in cooking. Like when I was a little kid, I watched cooking shows, which is so weird, but I haven't talked to a lot of other people that did. But fuck. I gotta say, this one 2 years ago at Christmas, my mother-in-law found me a Walk with Yan cookbook.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. Yeah. Like from way back. It's like,
awesome. When we had cable, I watched Food Network, and there's nothing better than eating a big meal and watching Food Network. Right? Somebody prepping meal. It's like you're double dipping. You know, it was amazing. You look at the tools. Yeah,
Chopped, which is on Food Network, is the inspiration for Forged in Fire.
That's right.
So the guy that produced that saw it and thought, oh, I wonder if we could do it in a different format, making knives. And it's the same. It's the same show.
It's the same. Yeah, they found a formula.
So you watched some Forged in Fire, and you're like, I think I can do this, and you just kind of.
Well, it was always something I wanted to do. Like I grew up
shops teacher, or what was your?
No, I was a kid that like just roamed around the bush and like cut down trees and
outdoorsy.
Like I was super outdoorsy, fishing all the time and some hunting as well. And just my dad was a tinkerer, always putting around in the garage making stuff. So I kind of followed suit, kind of making stuff as well. And when I saw it, I was like, man, that's something I've always wanted to do. Like heat steel up to like it's glowing, it's emitting light. That's awesome.
Like, that is pretty awesome.
And then you hit it and you change the shape of it, like wicked.
Yeah.
So when I saw some of their setups and the first episodes, and I was like, oh man, I could do that, no problem. So yeah. And then through the guild, met a few people, formed the guild, and then like just kept going with it until people were like, yeah, I'll give you money for one of your knives. And I was like, okay.
Now,
anybody else?
Like that's a big shift.
Yeah, dude, it has been,
like you said,
it's been a rough ride. Like it hasn't been
entrepreneurship
easy
is
at all.
Always that way.
Yeah,
I don't know if anyone's had it easy.
From going from a steady income, right?
Yeah.
And teachers here in Manitoba make good money.
Yeah.
And to make that leap of faith, let's call it, where you just like, okay, I'm going to ignore this steady income and I'm going to try to do this something that I love or enjoy doing.
Well, I wasn't happy in the situation where I was teaching. It didn't feel right to me. And
for how long? Like what was your
a few years.
Talk to us a bit about your teaching career. Like where did that come from for you? Why did you get into teaching? When?
I had little cousins. They always like, man, we like Justin. Like, he's such a nice guy. Oh man, that sounds terrible. Just pat my own back.
Guy over here.
I'm the best in the world.
Strolling in here at an age, fucking.
Anyway, so I when I met my wife, she was going into education, and I was like, yeah, you know what? That sounds good to me as well. Like, I get along well with younger people. I can do this. So went through that process. I taught for about 10 years, where elementary, middle years, so grade 5 to 8. And when you're like the one guy amongst just women, like the connections are nice, like, hey, but you're not like, I've never had like a workmate where I want to like, you want to go for a beer after work?
Oh,
like,
okay.
Like that connection never happened. Not deeply anyway, or not like it towards the end a little bit. But I was like,
you were already checked out.
I was checked out. Yeah, I didn't like the system. I feel like I was a good teacher, and I think my students would say so as well. But just maybe socially it was disconnect, and now I work completely alone. So
and so
total freaking hobbit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and so like having the money's good, but that's not everything, right? Like if you're unhappy, right, then screw all the money. Really, like you need to make that switch.
I at one point I was like, okay, I need to disconnect from the people even more in my school. So I would just take off at lunch, go for a walk, listen to a podcast, and they were always like business podcasts that were saying like, if you're gonna do it, you got to like burn the ships. Like, So
at some point you have to take the dive. You gotta go in.
Yeah. So that's what I did. So I walked into my principal's office.
Now there's a ton of things that complicate that and make that really hard to do. Like quitting a good. Well, you had a good union job and you have a good, like that's a hard thing to walk away from.
Yeah. I did transition a little bit where I did some shorter contracts. I was able to do some subbing, and that was good. That created a smoother transition. But we're still trying to figure out how to be an entrepreneur, how to do it right and sell knives properly. It's a tough gig.
How long has knives been your business? Like how long have you
I've been making knives for about 8 years now, and business wise, I probably sold my first knife about 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay. When did you leave your job?
About 3.
Okay. So you're 3 years in.
Yeah.
That's good. 3 years is good.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
How much have you learned in that 3 years about everything?
Oh, dude. So I'm alone in my shop, and
is your shop at home?
Yeah.
Like, is it
it's at home. Okay. Yeah, it's on my property, so I could
in and out.
I don't need to commute.
Yeah. Which can be good or bad.
Well, it cuts down expenses on vehicles and gas and like insurance.
I hate working at home. That's why I'm like, that's a nightmare for me.
I love it. Like, I don't miss driving anywhere.
But if your shop was in your backyard, it might be a little bit different.
I would hate it.
Yeah?
I like going somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. For me, it's like the act of going to a place rather than sitting at home. I do work from home some, but like most of the time I try and, if I'm just doing like computer work and shit, I try and actually go to the office and just be there and do it there.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though I know that I can only get about 25% as much done. I like going somewhere. It gives me a sense of purpose.
Yeah.
More so than being at home.
Yeah. I do have that transition point where when I walk into my shop, it is a totally different environment.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
It's not
So
home
you treat
anymore.
it different. You treat it differently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does your wife just walk in freely if you're in there working, or do you get a courtesy text or something? Like, is it? No, I'm just trying to establish, is there boundaries? Like, when I'm in there, that's work. Like, I'm at work.
No, she leaves me alone.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll call her for help.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
hey,
That's fair.
Come do some striking. Like, I'll hold the steel a certain way and a top tool and be like, all right, hit it there, hit it again.
Yeah.
So like, no, there's good boundaries.
So you've created good separation between work and home,
and she's working
for yourself
too.
I'm not just picking on your wife, for the record.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
She's a nice lady.
She'll bring me cookies if she's making cookies. Yeah.
Cool. And so you're obviously enjoying it.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you find, are you selling most of your stuff here, like locally? Is it all over the place?
It's kind of all over the place. Like,
what was finding a market like for you? Like, where did you, like, someone just offered to buy one, and so you were like, oh shit, maybe people want to buy these.
Yeah, often it's those first connections that lead to like word of mouth. Where I just had a lady from Regina reach out, hey, I need a knife. I got your name from Dustin. He's a blacksmith out in that area, and I was like, okay, perfect. Here's what it'll cost you for a custom, and give me a week, please. Like, like,
is a week kind of like, every knife's different. I'm not going to try and pigeonhole that, but like, what are the timelines on? I haven't seen your knives yet. I want to wait till later to actually get into it. But what's like?
Yeah,
it's
so
art.
Timeline.
So you're creating art, and so art. Do you have a vision and then you kind of build around that? Do you work with the person who you're making it for to kind of get, what are you looking for? Like, is it a consultative thing and then you're creating a piece of art for them?
Right.
Is that kind of how you
it could be all of that, where sometimes I'll just do a run of knives. I'll get them water jetted, and I'm making a stock knife that I think people will purchase.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And then other times it's someone who reaches out and says, okay, I want such and such Damascus, I want this kind of handle, and we'll work on those specifics.
Okay. I want a Hattori Hanzo. That's what I want.
Ooh, yeah.
Justin's like, challenge accepted.
Yes.
He's not a Hattori Hanzo. He can't make it.
Katana's so terrible. Yeah. I've made one. It took me about a month to make.
Really?
And that was for like a YouTube challenge. And they're works of art. You understand why there's like not just one guy making it, there's a team of like craftsmen working on the different components to put it together.
Yeah.
What's been the hardest lesson you've learned transitioning to being an entrepreneur?
Oh man, that's
you may not have learned
one.
it yet. Sorry, hardest lesson so far.
Yeah.
Hardest lesson so far is, or maybe the hardest thing to deal with is just financially. You see like awesome tools that you think, oh shit, that would probably step up my game a little bit, and like, but I'm gonna wait. I don't need it right now. It
would be nice, but
there's been a few purchases like that where you think, okay, no, let's just do it, because otherwise it's not gonna happen.
Well, especially if tools that make your job easier or faster, right? Like, it's an investment, right? Like, you need to invest in those things.
Yeah, definitely.
What's the best thing about it?
Best thing about it is that the creative aspect and learning, like maybe not every day, but I feel like every new project that I'll take on, there's usually an element of like, ooh, I've never dealt with this issue, and how do I overcome this?
Now, are you like, would you consider yourself an artistic person by historically and through your youth? Like, there's some people who can draw and there's some people who can't, and there's a very clear line between the two. And like I can't draw for shit.
I have my box at home of like the drawings I did as a kid still.
So you've always been artistic.
I've always been artistic, and like I said, going in the bush, cutting down trees is also like grabbing a bunch of branches and making stuff out of it. And like always making.
Crafting things,
Yeah.
Why don't we take a little break? We'll run your ad now.
All right. Nice.
And by the way, like I said, it was before the show.
You have an ad? I haven't even heard it.
No, that's because you don't listen to our show.
No, I don't.
But it's a really great ad. I first time I saw it, I chuckled.
So
I was like, "This is amazing."
That's my buddy Nick Tobin. He's a bladesmith out east. Pickle cutters, if you find him on Instagram, and then
we'll throw it up on the
AI
screen,
generated voice.
Oh, is it? Is it
yeah,
an AI?
the
Okay,
woman
nice.
speaking. Yeah.
Oh, now I want to hear it.
It's great. It's awesome.
And some footage from the katana build.
Yeah. No, that was great. Yeah. So we'll run that right now, and then we'll be right back.
People appreciate the fact that you're genuine and authentic. Just be yourself. Like I complimented Justin Lamoureux from Rainy Day Forge. He put his YouTube video out, and I've seen every other video he's done, but this one was different. And I reached out to him, and then when he answered, he said that he was just being himself.
Guys, listen up. You know what makes life better? Great knives. But not just any knives, custom knives. Need a knife that'll handle your outdoor adventures? Or a kitchen knife sharp enough to make you feel like a pro? Check out Rainy Day Forge. Crafted right here in Winnipeg. Get yours today at rainydayforge.ca.
It's captivating. Why? Because he's being himself. There we go.
Okay, so I want to touch a little bit more on the hard times that you went through as a teacher, because, you know, a lot of people, I think people become teachers because you're looking at it as a career. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I want to retire, right? And I'm not sure if you went into this in that mindset, but clearly you found something else. So going through the hardship during those days when you, like you said, you didn't have any necessarily male coworkers, you didn't have that connection. Going to work is like your second family, because you spend at least 8 hours of.
I spend more waking hours while my work.
Yeah, but just generally, you know, like the minimum is 8 hours, right? At least. So when you don't have that happiness, right, then it sucks, right?
Yeah, definitely. I enjoyed my class time, like with students, those relationships that you're developing with pupils that you're trying to develop into better learners. That was great. Like no issues against that. Obviously some years are rougher, some groups are a lot more difficult to deal with, but
that would be usually just you have the odd people that are, you know, disrupting the classes, right? Like
yeah, but it's like
it makes it
it kind of like makes two others kind of
okay
kind of when you do the same. And
I know I couldn't be a teacher.
You said grade kind of 5 to 8.
Yeah,
those are huge transition periods in kids' lives too. Like my daughter's 13, so she's in grade 8,
right?
And like what I've seen, if I think of her in grade 5 and her now, like
big difference,
huge transitions in life, and so much like so many life skills you start learning, and like you got to learn how to fucking take a shower more often. Like there's just a million things piled on, and then you get to that 7 and 8, and it's like fucking hormones start.
Yeah.
Like you were that was your career.
Grade 6 is great because you're right in between. Like
in the pocket.
I'm not a baby. Grade 5 they're like pretty juvenile, and then grade 6 they're not quite attitude. By the end of the year you can like
you're ready to shuffle them off.
When I taught grade 7, 8, I was towards the end of my career as well, and I thought I'd skilled up, and you know where to set the line, and not to take bullshit pretty much. And that definitely helps. I had done a little bit at the beginning of my career, and that was not good. I
would
did
you
not
say
enjoy it.
Would you say it takes practice to like practice? It takes development to learn how to teach those other
self-discipline, man. Like to like squish your emotions down and ball it up. Where you're like, if I freak out on these kids, I'm gonna lose their respect, and they're gonna be disrespectful towards me. So I'm gonna take 30 seconds here and just breathe. And then they're kind of like, ooh, what's wrong? Maybe we shouldn't have done that.
They know when they pushed you too far.
but if you figure out the tricks and stuff, like there's definitely self-discipline in there and like experience.
So how hard was it for you to actually do that while you were not happy at work?
Yeah,
because like when you're happy, it's easy to motivate yourself to.
I don't think I was ever like truly unhappy.
Okay,
there are moments where I was like, maybe I don't know if it was seasonal depression, or what. Just that feeling of like being alone, I suppose. But what was your question?
Well, like, so because you said that sometimes like you had to like suppress your feelings and just kind of deal with the kids and set the boundaries, but like when you're not in the right mindset,
right?
How hard was it for you, or how did it affect your personal life outside of work?
Oh, dude, yeah.
Because you have to, as a teacher, you had to put on a face, right?
Right. So my wife is also a teacher, and my cup was full by the end of the day. So when she would want to just talk about her like classroom experiences,
you teachers love talking about work,
dude. I couldn't. I had a real. That was probably one of the hardest parts of it. Actually, was like she'd be like, "Oh, can you believe this happened?" I'd be like, "I don't want to hear about it. I can't.
Like, I can't.
I just dealt with like all my stresses, and now you're wanting to put some of your stress." And not necessarily put stress on me, but like that was the resulting action. I would just like, okay, and now I'm feeling all tense from your day as well, and that I found really difficult. So
did that create tension between you and your wife?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we would carpool, and I'd be like, "You need to stop, please talking."
I'm taking my own vehicle.
It's interesting,
and that's super insulting.
It's interesting though. Well, but it's not. And
to her
I
it was, all right?
In that moment, the delivery maybe is part of the strategy, but like I do that too. Like I don't say it soon enough that it's just like, whoa, I can't.
Yeah,
like
mentally,
I can't do this right now. Like I get home from work, my work is very intense,
right?
And like I get home from my work day before I go back to my work evening, and like I have a daughter at home, I have a dog at home, and I have a wife at home, and they all want my attention,
right?
And they all want it like right away, and they want to tell me about their days and this and that, and like I'm not good enough. I'll admittedly say I'm not good enough at like coming home and being like, "Okay, I love you guys. I'm happy to see you. I need 20 minutes. I need half an hour. I'm just going to go downstairs or whatever and just like give me half an hour and I'll come out and I'm ready."
Yeah.
Because I want to hear it. Like I want to talk about it. I want to be empathetic to them, and like I want to feel like I'm contributing and that I can be a sounding board, but like and I don't know if it's a man thing or it's not a man thing, but it's a me thing, and like I don't do that well enough. I'm just like, yeah, I can take more, but then it's like they're talking to me and my response and my engagement is low, or I'm not. They're just talking to a wall. Like, what's the point?
They're not getting what they're looking for out of you,
and they think they are because I'm letting them do that. And so like I'm not setting a boundary where it's like, hey, I need 20 minutes, and then like let's go, I'm in. But like I can't do this right now.
Yeah.
And so maybe you went through some of that. I don't. Everyone has their own experience, but like I get where you're coming from. Where it's like it is important to listen to your wife or your kid or whatever.
Definitely.
How their day was, because they had an experience. And I also never talk about my day. How's your day? Good. Yeah. Like, I don't want to talk about it. I just got home. Give me 2 hours without thinking about it. Like I don't want to talk about it, but they want to know, and I'm even worse at that.
Yeah. Oh, I was the same.
How's work? Great. And then like 2 weeks later, I'll say something. My wife will be like, "You never told me that." I'm like, "Well, I'm telling you now." She's like, "Yeah, but I would have." Nah, it's fine. I don't know. That's my experience.
Yeah.
So, and you guys both had the same career. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Did you teach at the same school?
No, different schools. So she's still teaching, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, when you shifted into your business and she was still did that dynamic change?
Yeah, definitely. Like it changed a lot of things. Before I would do my career job, working at school, have supper, whatever, and then head out into the shop, and like most of my nights are spent there.
Because at this point you were already making and selling product.
Yeah, a
like
little bit.
You were
I do
doing
like
both.
the occasional little show
Yeah,
or whatever,
okay.
like craft show. And then, so a lot of my time was being consumed with that, and then come in late into the evening and not have that relationship with her, with the kids as much. So now that I'm just doing this, now maybe my mind is occupied with business stuff, but I feel like I could spend more time with the kids and with my wife. So it's definitely positives in that respect, and way more receptive, where she'll be like, you know what happened with my grade 6 students, and I'll be like, oh no, tell me.
Yeah, like,
I am honestly kind of curious.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Well, and you're on an island. You're by yourself in the shop all the time. So, like, how many...
I am, but there's still, like, I have my community.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of guys on Instagram that I've met and chatted with, and we'll send each other messages, and
that's good. So you're not like, you talked about your community and your group, your association.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Guild.
The guild. Sorry, it's a guild.
Yeah.
I don't do anything that constitutes the
guild.
name guild, so like I'm kind of jealous. I'm only part of associations, and that's not nearly as exciting as a guild.
It is the same thing.
I know, but the name itself just gives it a better feel.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, I don't think you could.
Yeah, you say guild, I think of like the fucking Renaissance.
Yeah. That or Vikings or whatever.
Yeah, part of a guild.
I mean, and it's very fitting for blacksmiths.
I want to be in Lord of the Rings.
And I just wanted to say, like, I can relate to what you were going through, because I'm there right now. I have my daytime job, and then I come home and I have about an hour to myself. So that's when I try to catch up on emails and, or like, what I need to do. Okay. Then the kid gets home. Then the second kid gets home with my wife. Okay. Is dinner made? Shit, I forgot because I was doing this. So quickly, cooking, whatever, like we spent some time, and then it's like, okay, I got nothing now going on. It's 7:00. I'm going downstairs, and then I work for about 3-4 hours, and at first it was super hard because you were just like, oh my, well, it all started with, we were watching shows for 3-4 hours every day, right? And I'm like, fuck, it's time to learn a new skill, instead of wasting my time. And that's why I reinvented the designing and just kind of started doing stuff like that. I'm like, oh, this is fun. And so now I'm just like, man, I wish I had time to watch a new show with my wife,
Right. Yeah.
But it's like, okay, now my wife is at that point where, like, she knows. I tell her, like, oh, sorry, I really need to do this. She's like, okay, go do your thing. And it's really nice, but she can only do so much as well. So there's always that tension that kind of gets bigger and smaller, and
my house
it's
too.
a dance, right? A balance. And
my wife and I both work for ourselves, and so that's a whole other journey. Like,
both
two entrepreneurs in a home.
Wow.
Trying to raise a daughter, like, it's tough.
I can only,
because you're just always working.
Yeah.
And so it's like you really, really have to carve out time, or else it never happens.
That's right. Yeah, for sure.
We're not great at it. We're working on it.
It's tough.
It's always work.
It's tough because you're trying to grow and you're trying to push yourself and you want better.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just feels like you're spinning your wheels. And
oh man. Yeah.
Well, and that's just it. Like, I have couple steady customers, and those are the ones that I'm like, thank you. But those are the ones I'm taking care of. Like, that's always my priority. Then I have couple customers that I do some sponsors work for them, but now, okay, I'm not getting paid for it, but I'm hoping to get my name out there, right? So it's important on a different level, and I'm scared to, like, I understand I need to grow my social media, I need to grow, get my name out there, but all that requires time to learn how to do everything, and like, actually doing it. Like, I don't have the time for that right now.
Drop 2 hours into designing a logo.
Like, I literally tried to talk my daughter into taking website design this year at school, because I was like, dude, you can help me out. Like, you can make some serious money.
And what was her response to that?
No.
You can't tell them you got to tell her don't do it.
Yeah. No, and she wants to be a teacher. She wants to become a teacher. So she's chosen classes that will help her. And also in like, she did like personal financing. I was like, okay. Like,
she's responsible.
She is.
She's more responsible than you are.
Way more. But yeah, so anyways, you know, like how I'm trying to
Thank fuck.
I'm trying to find like this perfect balance between like making sure I can grow my business, still be there for my family, and not be too tired for my day job because I still have to perform there. So
right.
Well, and I think it's not for me, it's not a routine thing. It's just like an everyday decision you have to make.
Yes.
Because like the time is different. The time you have available to do it is different.
I can get into
some
routine,
people have these routine things in their lives, and occasionally I'm envious, and then I would hate it so much.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's the routine of like, here's the activities every day I need to do.
Yeah.
So like that I'm into. Like,
yeah.
Don't tell me when to do them, but like, I need to spend time with my wife. I need to catch up with my daughter on her day and help her with whatever. And the dog needs this, and the kitchen. Like, those are all things that, but at least you can, what I like about being an entrepreneur is like, you can choose when you're going to do those things for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Obviously there's like customers, and I have staff, and so that's different and those things, but like
deadlines and whatever.
And all kinds of things. But like, there is a portion of that life where you are in your own control, and you're kind of in charge of your own destiny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I loved that part of I know I grew up in an entrepreneurial home.
Okay.
So I've just always known that. But how was that for you? Like, what was there a freedom aspect to what you did that you chased, or was it not about that for you?
It was about freedom. It was about lowering stress, which I think probably happened. Teaching is stressful, like dealing with kids and all their needs is like, for sure, it's intense. So that reduction was really good.
It probably created new stresses though.
Yeah, definitely new stresses and
because the stresses are always
as
there.
well. Like, I'm not looking at new cars every few years because I'd like a new vehicle. Like, it's pretty sweet. Like, oh, I'd sure like a boat. That'd be awesome. Like, stuff like that's like, okay, it's not on my radar. Like, I'll get new tools.
It's there, right? But
like, you start looking at money differently, and you look at life 100%, differently. And
I don't miss that terribly. Like,
there's a little glimmer in your eye that says you do a little bit.
Yeah, totally. Definitely.
But that's fair, and that's the trade-off.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like, I like listening to a bunch of podcasts and audiobooks, and I think Gary Vaynerchuk is one that talks about entrepreneurship.
Oh, I love that guy.
Yeah, so do I. And he says, like, are you pissed off or upset in your Ferrari and happy in your Toyota? Like, I'm happy driving my shitty car. I'm fine with it.
It takes you from A to B just same way as a Lamborghini, right? Maybe slower. Maybe slower, but it takes you there.
Yeah. So you could cut back in life on certain things, and other aspects I'm like, no, I'm not cutting back. And if I end up having to go back and teaching for a year or two, well,
you always have that option, because I mean, the jobs are out there.
Like,
so
I don't want to cut whiskey or beer. Like,
no,
I'm gonna
that's
have
stupid.
that.
Yeah,
why would you?
That would be nobody in their right mind would ever do
no.
that.
What's wrong
even
with
for
us?
a day. So why don't you show us a little bit of what you have here?
Yes,
sure. Yeah,
we've only had like one other guest who brought stuff.
And
like
I'd imagine
the intergalactic guys brought hot sauce. This guy brought knives.
Yeah. I'd imagine most people listen on like Spotify or Apple
so this part's not going to be as exciting.
So go on YouTube.
Go on YouTube.
We are on YouTube as well. Yeah. So switch to YouTube.
Sweet.
For sure.
All right, I'm gonna start
and subscribe to our page too.
There you go. This one.
There it is.
I love.
Yeah.
This is one that if it doesn't get sold, I'm like cool with it. It's a cleaver. It's got, I think it's 5 layers of steel, wrought iron jacket, and I believe 1084 and maybe 50, I'm not sure, 50. So I had a commission back in November, and not that it was, I had stuff to learn and I destroyed like a bunch of steel.
Yeah.
This was the result of one of the broken
okay.
parts.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But like happy that it turned out like this.
So this was supposed to be longer. Is that what you're saying?
No, it was a different part of the knife.
Oh, okay.
And this was like the scrap, but each piece of scrap is just another knife.
That's right. Yeah.
And this piece survived, the other knife didn't.
Yeah.
And so I kind of lost track on which steels are in this knife, but you can definitely tell the wrought irons on the exterior.
Oh yeah, totally. You can tell.
There you go.
I have no clue.
No, wrought iron. There's some wrought iron on this one as well. So wrought iron is like old steel.
Oh, okay.
So it was like processed in a factory that wasn't able to like pull out all the contaminants. Mm-hmm. So like that's actually from a wagon wheel. So is this one. So the jacket's a wagon wheel.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So you can like take different materials and weld them together. And basically what I'm doing is taking like a ton of heat.
Yeah.
It's sharp.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Did you just? I just touched
it.
Did I see emotion like this? Did you do like?
Not to him, you maybe, but this is beautiful.
Yeah. So this is more like
it's got some nice weight to it. I like that.
I dig that one. This one, there's something odd with the transition between the bolster area to the handle, but I'm really digging the blade shape. More of a French kind of accentuated French chef design.
Yeah.
But that one I've got really thin, and I'm really happy with how thin it is. That one would definitely cut some veg.
I love the different handles that you've been doing.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks.
What's your favorite part of the process?
The steel.
Yeah.
Getting it hot, pressing it together to make Damascus. That is my favorite part. Mm-hmm. And then you've got like the scientific portion of it, where like you've kind of screwed up the steel by overheating it, and then you got to like do different processes to like get it back. Yeah, get it back to a point where it'll perform well and be like resistant to like shock and hold an edge properly. And then you're like doing the heat treatment where you're like actually hardening the steel, and then you got.
I was going to ask,
should I not be touching the blade?
No, that one's it's already etched, so your fingers should be fine on there, and I'll wipe it when I get home too. So
yeah, I just don't want to wreck anything.
No, those are fine. Yeah.
Shouldn't be touching the blade.
Yeah, so those are like some of my chef knives. This is Nesmuck. This is Pofero and stabilized Manitoba maple burl.
That's
purple.
Beautiful.
Yeah, dude, I love
that's
the
a
stabilized
beautiful
burl
knife, dude.
Yeah. I just sold one of these to a local in Winnipeg, and got to make a sheath for it.
Use for this one? What would you use it for?
It could be like for skinning, like hunting knife. It would be a general camp knife.
Cutting up sausages.
Multi-purpose.
Yeah, it's a multi-purpose knife, but definitely like towards hunting and bushcraft.
Man, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite design of knife.
I'm getting ideas now. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
So that's a Nesmuck, and this is my Cisco. So this is a smaller kind of like EDC kind of camp knife. These I sold a whole bunch of them in last May. I guess right before summer, people were interested in getting more bushcraft knives.
Okay.
And, sold a whack of them, and then this summer I was like, I'm just gonna make a bunch more, and then those sales kind of dried up. So I'm kind of like, okay, what changed? So it's either seasonal, or I kind of like my market consumed everything they could.
They bought what they were gonna buy, and now you need new customers.
So now I'm going back towards like making shit to impress.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a kick-ass knife. Yeah. And then another Cisco, except this one has cherry blossoms etched into the steel.
So this blade feels rougher. This hasn't been etched yet, or
that one is So these ones here are hand sanded.
Okay.
So these are like you sit there and you're going from that texture to sanding it by hand.
Yeah, and then you gradually
an hour
changing
on this side, an hour on that side. Like at one point, you're like, okay,
wet or
wet. Yeah. Either like a stoning oil.
Yeah,
WD-40 works all right, but
some kind of lubricant.
Yeah. Just figuring stuff out all the
it's
time.
not a process that you can rush, right?
No.
Yeah.
Now you can see like almost a grain, like a linear grain pattern in this blade.
Yeah, that's
explain that to me.
That's just the grit pattern from
sanding. Okay.
Yeah, that one's right off the machine.
Gotcha.
And then put into a tumbler with like abrasive material.
Yeah.
So it kind of knocks some of the texture off, and then etched in ferric chloride. So then that darkens the steel. It kind of protects it as well. Kind of locks oxides into the steel.
You mentioned that
the cherry blossom
looks good.
Is really neat. Yeah, I like that.
You mentioned that you have to you heat treat it. Do you have to heat treat every single blade?
Yeah,
because that's what strengthens the knife, right?
Like those, because that's water jet cut. It comes annealed. The steel is ready for heat treatment.
Okay.
You grind the bevels, quench it, and temper it. Where with these ones here, you have to do these extra processes so that you can refine the grain in the steel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
a few extra hours just with that.
So watching few episodes of Forged in Fire, sometimes they try to heat treat it and then something happens to the blade where like, it went wrong. It cracks and like, so is that the cause of just bad process, bad steel, or just
you can like they're using recycled steel sometimes, so they're like ripping it off a vehicle. So there could be like micro fractures already in the steel from usage.
Okay.
You could just get a wonky piece of steel that just
and then back
develops
to step one.
a crack. Yeah, and you're back to step one. Yeah.
Shit.
Or it warps, right? And that could be like from having ground more on one side than the other, and the steel contracts and moves over.
Tedious work,
dude. The katana to get that thing straight. It took me.
You said there's a video, right, of that one?
Yeah, that's
cool.
on YouTube.
I want to watch that.
Yeah.
And it's in our ad too.
And it's in the ad.
I won't see that.
Shorter version.
I won't see that.
Did you bring one of the little ones?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so those are my favorite. What do you call them?
Ultralight knife.
Sorry?
Ultralight.
Ultralight, yeah. So it's just literally like a 2-inch blade, maybe. Yeah, it's a 2-inch blade. Like it's perfect for your pocket, but like you can really use it for anything. Like in the bush, cut up sausages.
That one's marketed to hikers, and that one pretty good deal. I actually retail those out to the States. There's a shop out there that carries them.
Nice.
Yeah,
sweet.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, definitely. I honestly, like, knowing what I know now, I should have gone like all in on those when they were like, we want more, and I was like, I'm still trying to figure shit out. Give me some time.
Hindsight and lessons learned. Yeah.
Because he's like, he had messaged me. He's like, do you want money to invest in like your shop? And I was like,
you build more. So like, what do you need to make me more of these?
And I was like, just like so green that I was like, yes, I want your money, but I don't know what I would do with it really, and like I'm not sure like what I should be doing, so let's go slowly. And then it was a hot trend there for a little bit.
Is that I guess knives no different than anything else. There's new designs and trends and things that
100%
people all of a sudden this year everybody wants this thing, and that's a normal. Is there lots of new? Do you mess around with different knife shapes, or do you kind of like you had said that one is definitely kind of a modified French type look? Do you like doing that? Like that's an artistic piece where it's like, here's this traditional knife style. What can I do to change it, modify it?
Yeah,
does functionality obviously play into a lot to that?
Functionality first, yeah. That's where I'm. And
then working within that framework.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm interested in a lot of the Japanese designs. I'm waiting on a book that's got like all the information that I kind of need to be able to make them, because some of their bevels are really specific, where on like the backside it'll be concave, so it's like actually hollowed out a little bit, and then it's a one bevel side, and it's like they're really interesting pieces, and they function different than your traditional like German or French knives that basically we all use here
all
in
the time.
Canada.
That's our standard.
Yeah. Walmart.
We forgot this guy.
Oh, is there one there too? Oh, that's right.
We didn't get you.
Right.
Yeah. You kind of pulled it out and put it away.
Yeah.
Right
So
away.
this is a piece of tiger wood, and it was I made this for a YouTube series, just a short series. So I produced, I think, 15 videos of myself making this. So this is Unokubi Tanto, and Unokubi is just defined by this grind pattern. So there's a fuller towards the bolster of the blade, and then this recess here, and you can see the pattern.
Do those have purpose, or?
Yeah, they do actually. If I recall correctly, this area creates more spring in the blade. So if you're puncturing through like medieval like armor, and you're not like penetrating, it'll deviate and try to get like between the leather pads or whatever.
Okay.
And the fuller for weight loss, some people call it like a bloodline, so it lets out blood. I don't know. I don't like making weapons, but I'll make like the occasional art piece.
So that's a weapon.
Yes.
This is a weapon
style. That's a weapon. Okay.
Yeah. And it's
as far
in the
as
style of like
practical use, not designed for that.
No. This is a shelf piece. The idea with this build, I forget what the name is called, where the blade is kind of hidden, and that's after the katanas and the weapons like this were outlawed in Japan, so they would hide them in like walking sticks and stuff. So that's kind of reminiscent of that.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Like all your sheaths and everything are all just very well thought out.
Thank you. Yeah, and that
I have a buddy who makes guitars, and so much of this reminds me of like the work he does on his guitars, because he builds acoustics.
Oh,
and so much of that like fretboard work and stuff is so similar to what you're doing just here.
It's different material.
Monotonous, kind of like cutting out the places for the frets.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't take away material that's like, you can't add material that's gone. So.
That's right. Yeah.
Go slow.
Yeah. And that blade was covered in clay. The spine is covered in clay, and then when you quench it, you get that hamon line. So you see kind of like a wavy line near the edge. So that's a softer spine with a harder edge, because the steel on the edge doesn't have that clay. It cools off quickly in the oil. Or I could have done water, but I was just too scared because bad things happen. You crack your steel. It just shocks it so much. And the spine cools off slowly, so you don't get that hardness, and then you see the different colors of the steel. Yeah,
it's beautiful.
So there's like, it's a palette. Steel is a palette. The handles are a palette, and you could just like, do all these different things.
Nice.
And it locks in so nice.
Yeah,
just like, I like that.
Thanks, man.
They're beautiful, man. They're just like, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So, every now and then I'll do like a project that's kind of out of my wheelhouse, out of like out of my skill level, where I'm like, I can't do this. I'm not sure how it's going to happen, but I'm going to I don't have many orders right now. I'm going to dedicate some time to figuring it out and pushing myself.
Yeah. Now, how booked out are you?
Right now, I'm probably, if people are listening and actually want to stuff, I'd be kind of mid-January. Christmas was slower this year.
Okay.
Orders,
so far.
Yeah. After I'm on this podcast, though, holy crap, orders are going to come rolling in.
Oh, I hope you didn't promise them that.
No, I think with inflation, like things
just people
being
have
tight,
less money.
This is like,
See, I disagree with that.
That's an investment.
It's an investment,
Yeah.
and it's also like it's a luxury item.
Yep.
So people aren't going out to the mall and buying necessarily new watches and stuff like that right now. They're more busy with food and getting that on the table. So knives, they're
Yeah.
yeah.
See, I have to disagree because you look at the shopping malls, they're fucking full.
Oh yeah.
People
True.
like they're people
Not
are
for that.
No, not for that. But
No.
people are spending money on stupid shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? It's insane how, like, I've been hearing that, like, oh, you know, times are tough and blah blah blah. No, they're not. Like, people are still spending money on now.
It's because
Your listeners are saying, "Fuck you, man."
Yeah, it's because
times are tough.
Yeah.
continue to get credit cards. That's why.
But that's just
No,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
Like, you know, it create like I it's very easy to get used to a higher standard, you know,
Standard
like,
of living.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's very easy to go up, and then when things get kind of
Tighter.
tougher and tighter, everyone's like, oh my god, well, this sucks, you know. It's like, well,
Oh, yeah.
no, you just need to cut back on certain things, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and
I
that's
don't
what
know why we chose booze.
I know, right? Well,
Wasn't a financial decision.
Well, for you,
no.
probably financially, it's worth
it's made
it.
a
Yeah.
significant
Yeah.
impact.
For me, it didn't really, because I don't drink. I didn't drink daily, right? So, but no, just overall, like, you know, we've noticed it ourselves. But yeah, so that means we don't eat out 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't want to necessarily.
Sacrifice.
No, nobody wants to give up their luxuries.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Nobody wants to
And
give those
then
up.
easiest thing is to complain, right?
Yeah. That's
So,
absolutely.
Sure.
So
But anyways, yeah, that's my rant for today.
Congratulations on taking the jump.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a huge move, and I don't know what your business is like. I actually want to talk off mics a little bit about some more of that stuff, but like, you're building something very beautiful,
Thank you.
and obviously you're very skilled at doing so, and you found something that's good for you and for your life and
Yeah.
for your family, and that's so hard.
It is.
It's
yeah.
a struggle, and everything's a struggle at times, and everything's great at times.
I think it's around 70 or 75% of people don't like their jobs.
yeah,
Yeah.
most.
It's like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
That's
For sure.
crazy.
There's-
I love what I do. Like, there's days that I don't.
There should be.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking weird if you didn't have any of those.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
most of the time, I'm like, yes, I get to go in my shop and make these awesome
Tinker
things.
around, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No.
super exciting, man. I love that.
Yeah.
That's so it's inspiring when you sit with someone who took that jump and like
Oh, thank you.
And as
you're doing something artistic, which is even kind of a level beyond.
Yeah.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, that, you know, like this, I'm not sure how much you knew about making videos and editing, taking photos and all
Okay.
that, but like, I've seen your website, I've seen your Instagram, I've seen your
Yeah.
YouTube, and I could see the progress too, from like older videos to what you're producing today.
Right.
You were on TV too, right? On
Yeah.
the channel with you had
Through
a
MTS
yeah.
5 TV. Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, you had a show, right?
Yeah.
Is that still on, or that was? Yeah,
you can still
yeah.
stream it there, or it's on my YouTube.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, just to like go back a bit, I was working on a wakeboard documentary.
Okay.
When the cable park was on the west side of Winnipeg, Adrenaline Adventures.
Yeah.
Met a bunch
Yeah.
of people there, and I was like getting to the stage where I was like, no, I'm gonna like have one more lap, and I'm gonna like break my back. Or
Yeah.
something, like blow out my knees. Who knows? So I was like, I'm gonna like film for a year, and
Yeah.
it ended up being, let's film for 2 summers.
Yeah.
And we produced a documentary. We went to Churchill to go wakeboarding out there. That was
Oh, cool. That's
Nice.
awesome.
yeah. It was.
I've never been up there yet.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Definitely go out there. It's worth the trip. And made this documentary, but like in that 2 years, met up with a bunch of different people within like the film industry, just like whoever.
Yeah.
And then had a podcast as well. Did 50 episodes of that, and on that podcast we were talking about how do we take the podcast and like bring it out into a different form of media, and we're talking about like how would we film like a documentary or something. And I was like, oh, I've got the connections. I'll reach out to a couple of these guys and see what they think. And it just morphed into Fire and Slice, which was making a knife for someone who is interesting and kind of like showing their story and building their custom knife at the same time.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yes, so
that's really cool.
So you're getting into this new adventure. It opened up a door for you in other areas too that you've developed and
photography,
mastered.
film is something that
like
that
your photos are beautiful.
me.
Yeah, and so congratulations. Super happy for you. Love our interactions on Instagram too. Once in a while we chat. Mainly it's just videos, but yeah. But you know, like I saw,
here's a kid falling. I'm a 7 now.
How
I
we
was
all
a
talk
6.
to each other. Yeah, that's how we do it now.
But you know, like I just sent you that video I've seen. I was like, oh, this is whatever. Like it's a cool recipe, but there's an interesting knife, right? So it's nice when I see that right away. Think of you, you know, like and there's. I guess anything can spark an idea, right, for you, and just to make a little practice piece, and hey, let's see if we can make this. And that's amazing that you can do that. You have the time now. You don't have a full-time job that you need to focus on, and I'm kind of jealous, and I hope I get there at one point with my job, you know, where I'll be able to do these things. So
it's amazing, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So before we let you go, I want to start a new thing, and I want to do this with our guests.
All right.
God.
Yeah, I know. It's, you know what, I've been on a binge of listening to like motivational videos because I feel like I've lost my mojo a little bit in the designing, you know. So I've been wanting to kind of gain that back, and there's times where I'm like, I don't feel like doing, you know, like I need to find that drive a little bit more, and so I saw some really cool quotes, and so I want to bring this to our show where if there's a quote that stood out this week for you, you know, then we'll bring it up and maybe just have a quick discussion over it. So the one thing I saw that it was the quote went, if you're not changing it, you're choosing it.
Right.
Okay. Yeah,
and I was like, holy shit! Like that like hit me hard. I'm like, yeah, like I literally have these two options. Mm-hmm. Do I do it or do I not do it? And I choose to not do it.
Right.
You know, so I'm not changing that behavior that's making me choose that other one. And like, and I told my wife, actually, I want to get like a little whiteboard, and I want to start putting it like on there where it's like on the fridge or somewhere, you know, like so I look at it every day.
I read it more.
So I read it, and because videos will only pop up when you bring your phone up, and now I'm not as often on my phone. I'm trying to not be as often on my phone either, and so yeah, I just want to have these little almost like flashes of like, oh shit, that's right, okay, there it is. So
well, it goes into like surrounding yourself with the things that drive you forward.
That's right.
So the people, the things, like even having that next to your computer or by your laptop, like when you're working on, because what you're trying to do is make that transition out of your job into entrepreneurship, and so keep that close by where you do that. Yeah. And then also I would encourage you to put it where you are least likely to be working on that stuff. Yeah. So you see it when you're not
goofing off.
Yeah.
And it's okay to do that
on the TV screen.
Again, it is whatever, it is all choosing. And like once you do it all for yourself and only like, and for you don't have a boss. Yeah. You really are choosing. Yeah. Everything is a choice, and it can be very easy to not do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So and then the other thing is,
so do I get to say my quote then?
You guys both have one? I don't have one.
If you have one, please.
Yeah, sure.
When Tommy was talking, I was like, oh man, what is mine going to be? And then you mentioned like
me on the fucking
writing.
spot.
Sorry, Tim.
you can skip it.
We planned this out earlier.
Yeah, I know.
Let's fuck around with Tim and say these awesome quotes.
Perfect. What do you got?
So just like you, when you said your whiteboard and you want to write it down, I have a big locker in my shop. And listening to podcasts and audiobooks, sometimes I'll be like, okay, that's got to go on my locker. I'll write it there. So I've got 2 things written on there right now. A few things. 1%. So just trying to like push myself a little bit more in a different way every day so that I'm always progressing, by even if it's a little bit. The other one is the bunker. So like sometimes I'll sit down on my computer and on my phone, get distracted, and it's like, no, this place is my work. Like I shouldn't be like just scrolling through Instagram, like
it's a trap,
doom
man.
scroll.
It's just a trap.
It is,
and then it's like, no, this is the bunker. Like I should be focused on like creating product, and if I am on my phone, I should be filming something, editing, creating some form of media to put out there. And the other one is find the click. So I'm still trying to like figure out my market, like what is going to click with people. And like doing this kind of thing, it's just another potential connection to the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love putting myself out there. So although tomorrow I'll probably be burnt out because I'm a bit of an introvert, and putting out energy like this is going to be like, I'll be down to a 6 tomorrow.
Okay.
Maybe not. We'll see.
Cool. I don't have a quote.
Okay. So we have a
I didn't know that
little
was
thank
the
you
new thing we're doing. I didn't.
a little thank you for joining us today.
Oh, beautiful. Thanks, man.
These are our new mugs, and every guest gets one of those, and hopefully the whiskeys will taste good from it, or coffee or whatever.
They're great for whiskey.
I'm sure they would be. Should we try it right now?
Yeah, we should. Yeah, thanks for being here, man. We really appreciate it.
Nice.
Plug your business.
Yeah.
First,
all the things.
What it says on your cup, I think, is awesome. Healing starts with a single conversation. So, yeah, if you're having a hard time, reach out to someone.
Absolutely.
There's people out there that are struggling, and you might not notice it. If someone's being quiet, that's normally more talkative. Just pat on the back and, how's it going, buddy?
Check in.
Check in. Well, and like you said, like you sitting here, I would have never, said that you're an introvert. So you're here, putting out this energy, but inside I know my wife is an introvert, and
I've gotten used to it where like when I would podcast, I'd have notes in front of me. Be like, put out energy, like,
and
be pleasant.
And a lot of people are, probably, let's call it putting on a show, putting on a mask, a face, and inside they might be really struggling, and so that's why it's. When I heard that quote, that's one of the quotes.
That's my quote for today.
And perfect. And that's why I decided to put it on there, because it really starts with a single conversation. So please plug in this camera, that camera, whichever.
Man. This is like Hot Ones.
I know, I'm stealing it.
They got sold. Hot Ones got sold.
Did they finally?
Yeah.
No way. Interesting.
I just read that today.
Huh.
But plug your business, your Instagram, YouTube, website, whatever you want.
Cool. I'm Justin Lamoureux. I run Rainy Day Forge. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. On my website, you can look at my knives. Send me a message if you got something interesting that you'd like for me to make. Also, knife repairs too. I've gotten a few people recently that like, hey, can you... Like, this is my grandfather's favorite knife, but the handle's rotten. So can you put fresh scales on it and give it a clean up? So
nice.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
Quick work that way, and it's good.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for joining us here in the studio, and we'll catch you at the next market. Hopefully, do you have any plans for that, or nothing set in stone yet?
So this summer, the Manitoba Blacksmith Guild is hosting the national event.
Okay.
So we've got like, I'm organizing a national conference. Yay!
Nice. Good for you, man.
So we've got someone from Pennsylvania coming in, California,
cool.
Vancouver. Like these are like world-class demonstrators. So doing another market is gonna wait till. After that's all done. Well,
let us know if there's room for a little bit of mental health stuff at that event, and we'd be happy to
chat.
To join you.
Great.
And, Anyways, take care.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Man, I love that.
Do you?
Yeah. That was awesome.
Right? Like, I know he only brought like few of his knives, but
I know I'm already
so
I already like
you already talked a little bit, and you have ideas, which are, by the way, fucking great ideas. I gotta say, like,
it's a good idea.
I don't think we need to tell our listeners, but I think once you have the job completed, I think it would be nice to just show everyone. Like,
I'm so excited.
I'm excited to see what he's going to come up with, and so and like a couple of other pictures that he showed us, like those are cool knives. So I can see you having something like that.
Oh yeah, it's a cool story too. Like he like to go from I don't hear a lot of people that make that jump.
Yeah.
Like from
well, it's a scary thing.
I shouldn't say that, but like not a lot of people do make that jump.
No.
And like he could have easily just treated that as like a side hustle, and he does it in his spare time and like whatever, but to see him like full on just go like, no, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And like we didn't even scratch the surface of all of that. Like we'll have him back.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
I always feel like everybody we have to have back twice.
Well, it's one of those things. I don't want to have a 3-hour episode because it would be long for people to listen. And so, but it's, we'll see what the response is from the listeners, and then if it's something that the listeners are truly interested in, then we can definitely explore more. And
he's good on the mic.
Oh yeah, he's done podcasts.
I was very surprised when he said he was a total introvert.
Right?
I was kind of surprised. It kind of made sense because he works alone.
Yeah.
So, okay, that you're comfortable doing that. So that makes sense. Yeah. But like, I don't know, what a nice guy.
Oh, so he's super nice. And like, I know.
Can I just do a show with him?
Sure. Yeah, done. I'll just sit in the background. Nice. Yeah. I'll just charge you guys for the rental.
Here we go.
But
no, it was great. I really appreciate that he came and that he shared his art, his craft with us. And I don't know how the fuck people do that. I've watched that show and all those things. It's just like, that is cool as shit.
Yeah, part of me was kind of thinking before he even got here, and before we, like a couple of days ago, I was thinking about like, okay, how does this relate to men's mental health? And it doesn't necessarily have to be men's mental health. It's just truly like he focused on his own well-being of just doing what he loves doing. Yeah. Like there's nothing more satisfying, I think, is to have a job where you truly enjoy the work you do.
Yeah.
And this is where I think this is a great example of that quote, that if you love what you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life. And there's challenges with that and stuff, but like, you can look at those challenges like, okay, this is a hurdle. I just need to jump over it, and that's it. And it's just, I love that we had him on.
Yeah, me too. And I love that it's just like when you do what he's doing or what you're doing or what I'm doing, like when you do your own thing, it all falls on you, and that's a lot of pressure.
It is.
But the wins and the losses are all yours.
Yeah.
Like you own them.
That's right.
Like there's something, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But like, man, when you do that and it's something that you love to do, I wouldn't trade it. Like I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah. And I just had a conversation with my son today. We had a busy day, and they played volleyball, and he asked about the score. I'm like, well, I don't think they were keeping score. And he's like, well, that's okay. And I was like, well, yeah, it is, but it's important to know that, like where you ended up, because I think I absolutely hate let's not keep score. Everyone's got to have fun.
Participation awards.
And Justin mentioned Gary Vaynerchuk, and he's one of those guys, like, like I saw a baseball game, and this 11-year-old kid, like, was crying because they lost, and I jumped there before the parents got there, saying, oh, it's okay, it's just a game. Though I wanted to say, like, hey, it's a tough loss.
Yeah.
It's okay to lose as long as you've done your best.
Yeah.
There will be losses in life.
Always.
And what you do with that, instead of like, oh, it's okay, everything's fine. No, that's not life. Like,
it's a lesson.
You learn from it.
Yeah.
You okay, we lost because of this. Let's try to improve on those things, right? So same in a business, right? You try something, you lose money, you lose your time, you lose products, employees, whatever.
All kinds of things.
You learn from it.
Yeah.
What do I need to do going forward so that doesn't happen again?
Yep.
Right? And if you don't learn from it, well, then
not going to last.
Exactly, yeah.
You'll
nothing
find out
in life
fast.
Will.
Like,
no.
It's not even business. That goes for everything. Like if you don't learn, if you don't take your medicine, if you don't take your medicine, nothing's going to change.
Absolutely. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We certainly did, and we'll try to give you guys an update on what's going on with Justin, and we're gonna try to collaborate more with him. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Quiet Riot Show. On YouTube, if you want to, you should check out YouTube for sure if you listen to this, because he did bring some knives in and they were absolutely beautiful.
Oh my God.
And send us an email just about anything and everything that you'd like to ask us, tell us, or
want to hear about.
If
you want to be a guest or whatever. Anything.
It's quietriot@gmail.com, and tune in next time. Thanks.
Awesome. See you guys.
All Quiet Riot Show episodes have been recorded and produced by SuverMedia. If you think you have an idea for a podcast but don't have the space or proper equipment, please visit SuverMedia.com for more information. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please hit the follow button and leave us a review if the platform you are listening on allows you to do so. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Quiet Riot Show, and follow us on the Instagram page at Quiet Riot Show. Please share this episode with others that may be interested in these topics. If you know anyone that would enjoy these topics, feel free to share our podcast with them. Also, let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future episodes. Get in touch with us in the comments on our channel and social media, or send us an email to quietriotshow@gmail.com.